Packers win total is at 10.5, Brew. Are you going over or, oh no.
You don't even need to ask me.
Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Cowboys. Ooh, that Cowboys game in Green Bay is fun. Texans, Dolphins, Rams, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Bucks on the road. Packers.
I think I may have been a year early on my Packers to the Super Bowl pick. Michael will be back maybe for the start of the season, week 3, 4 for sure.
Okay.
They're going to be, remember last year, we don't think of this because they've been in the playoffs a few times. They were the youngest team in the league last year. All right. Yeah. Jordan Love had his best season and seemed to get rid, early on he had some moments the Jordan Love moments, but later on he was strong. And look, I would love to see them, and I guess it's possible they get a better receiver. Maybe Matthew Golden will turn into that true number one. They need a true number one, but assuming Micah's back healthy, Matt LaFleur, too, who I think is a very good coach, is on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And I think that'll motivate him. I don't think you can say he should be if you just look at the results, but I think it's crazy to have him on the hot seat. But again, I think that could work in their benefit because he knows, man, I got to have a great season. And so I think they're going to be the over.
I'd take the under. You still have a good season, still going to make the playoffs hitting the under. That's a big number. You lost your defensive coordinator to a head coaching job, which means you lost it. It's always more concerning to me when you lose a coordinator because he was so good that he got plucked, rather than we are making this choice because we think we can improve in that spot, meaning you didn't want to lose him. I think that Micah's return from an ACL is a bit of a black box at a position and a style of play where what makes him so special, one of the things is his speed, his burst, his athleticism. So even when he is back, how long until he looks like Micah? I do think that and it's also their star receiver, tight end. Tucker Kraft's coming off a major injury. Now he'll be back, but it's all.
The backup was pretty good.
And the backup was supposed to be the better player. The Kraft just kind of exploded onto the scene. All of that aging running back, I'll just take the under for now.
Yeah, I'm genuinely excited to dive into this conversation about the Green Bay Packers because I have some strong opinions about where this franchise stands right now. When I look at the trajectory of Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, and I consider what they've been able to accomplish over the last few years, one thing becomes crystal clear to me. 2026 is a massive year for this organization. A truly enormous year. This is the moment where we find out which path they're on. Either they're going to be the Dallas Cowboys of the Dak Prescott era, the team that's been good, sometimes great, but never quite gets over the hump since about 2016 or 2017. Or they're going to be something more than that. They're going to take that next step. Because the simple fact of the matter is that the Packers have not taken that next step yet. Yes, I know they've been one of the youngest teams in the league for years. Yes, I know what they accomplished in 2023 was impressive given their inexperience. But that was then. This is now. Years have passed. The excuses are running out. I've talked extensively about how I view the NFL through the lens of the coach-quarterback duo. That relationship is the most important dynamic in football, and I am ready to see that relationship evolve. I'm ready to see Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love elevate each other. I want to see them put one another in positions to succeed in a way that feels undeniable. That's how you get a Matthew Stafford season, with 46 touchdowns. That's how you get a Patrick Mahomes season with 50 touchdowns. That's how you get those spectacular, unforgettable campaigns. And I am ready to see that next evolution. I'm ready to see the next level of Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. Show me what you've got. Prove it. And not just in the regular season, but in the big games, the playoffs, the moments that define legacies. When I look at the Packers' schedule for this upcoming season, I get excited because it presents a real opportunity. A lot of the other schedules I've looked at recently, I've had the reaction of, man, this is tough. There aren't many easy wins here. But with this schedule, I'm looking at it and thinking, this is actually an awesome setup for Green Bay. Before I break it down, though, let me say this to Packers fans. Please don't forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you do that, it genuinely helps the channel grow. It's not about chasing numbers for the sake of numbers. It's about creating Packers content that people actually want to watch and discuss. So, if you're enjoying this, please consider subscribing. It goes a long way. Now back to the schedule. There are other teams I'm optimistic about taking steps forward this year. The Falcons, for example. The Saints. Maybe the Panthers, though I haven't fully decided on them yet. You've got the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, the Texans. I'm optimistic they can support C.J. Stroud better, and their defense is legit. But if it's the same old story in Houston, then that's a different conversation. When I look at this schedule, I see a lot of favorable matchups for the Packers. I like them against the Dolphins. I like them against the Jets. I like them against the Buccaneers. Even though I think the Saints and Falcons could be improved, I'm still favoring Green Bay in those games. Now, obviously, all of this is subject to change based on how these teams actually look when the season starts. I'm just talking about right now, in this moment. But when I look at this slate, I see a floor where the Packers should be winning certain games. And even the games that might be a little harder than in years past. Because the Saints should be better, the Falcons should be better. I still like the Packers in those situations. Then you get to the truly tough games. The Bills, the Rams, the Cowboys. And honestly, that Packers-Cowboys matchup last time was an awesome game. It's at home this time, and I'm curious when the NFL schedules it. Would they want it in cold weather, or would they prefer it earlier in the season to ensure it's not freezing and snowy? My guess is they'll want it earlier to guarantee a high-scoring, explosive game. But I don't know how the NFL makes those decisions. And then, of course, you have the division. The NFC North is always tough. Even if you're playing the Vikings with a quarterback whose name you don't even know yet, those games are always competitive. All 4 teams in this division have proven year after year that they can show up and make things difficult. A lot of times, I just assume a split in the division. Win half, lose half. That feels like a reasonable baseline. So, let's do the math. You've got a handful of games that I'd consider favorable. That alone puts you at 7 or 8 wins before you even get to the tougher matchups. Then it all comes down to what happens against the Bills, what happens against the Rams, what happens against the Patriots, and that's where the rubber meets the road. That's when we find out who Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love really are at this point in their careers. Who are you? Here's the thing that's been nagging at me. Their game, even when they're playing well, still feels slippery to me. Even when Jordan Love is on fire, even when he's making incredible throws, there's a fragility to it. Think back to that Thanksgiving game against the Lions. It was spectacular. The 4th down calls, the touchdown passes, amazing throws, elite-level football. But it was also so fragile. So much of that game came down to converting on 4th down. If those plays don't work, if they don't hit those specific moments, they probably lose that game. It's not a sustainable formula. It's not a comfortable way to win. I use the Rams as a reference point because they have a great coach-quarterback duo that's very pass-centric. They're run first in a lot of ways, but they know how to highlight their quarterback. And that's what I want to see from the Packers. I want to see that comfortability. I want to see that ease of operation. And look, I'm not someone who thinks you have to throw for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns to be successful. I defend the run-first, grind-it-out style of play all day long. I'll defend it until the cows come home. There's nothing wrong with 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions if you're winning games. But when I watch a team like the Rams, even though their passing game is set up by an elite run game, there's a different flavor to it. There's a confidence in the passing attack that I don't fully see in Green Bay yet. Let me use the Eagles game as an example. When the Packers needed Jordan Love to just settle into a rhythm, hit some 5 or 6 yard passes, move the chains, get comfortable, it felt like the offense couldn't do it. It became binary. Either Love throws a 45-yard bomb or the offense stalls. There was no middle ground, no comfort zone, and that's a problem. Compare that to a Matthew Stafford game. Take the game against the Bears, for instance. It wasn't an unbelievable game by Stafford by any stretch. He made some bad throws, some he was fortunate to get away with, but I never felt uncomfortable watching him in that moment. I never felt like the offense was on the verge of collapsing. When it was 3rd and 5 and they needed to convert, Stafford hit Puka Nacua wide open at the 1st down marker, and Nacua ran for another 2 yards. Pitch and catch. Easy. Comfortable. That's what I want to see from the Packers. We saw the Packers unable to do that against the Bears last season. When they needed to move the chains, milk the clock, and close out the game, they couldn't do it. And they ultimately lost. People tried to blame someone else. I think it was Hafley for that loss, and that blew my mind. I don't know how anyone can put that on his shoulders. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm ready to see Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love feel like the true anchors of this team. They can be great. They can be balanced. They can be well-rounded. But I want to feel that when they win a game, it's because of them. I want to see greatness. I want to see comfortability. I want to see them in their bag, doing what they do best, and knowing that they're going to be brutal to beat because of it. When I made my Rams video for the over-under segment, my thought was simple. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. That duo. It's like, yeah, all bets are off with those guys. Any playoff game, any regular season game, any fourth quarter, there's a ton of comfortability there. I haven't fully seen that from the Packers yet. Even in games where Jordan Love throws for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, it's like, I know he's a great player. I know Matt LaFleur is a great coach. But it hasn't come full circle for me. It hasn't clicked in a way that feels undeniable. That's how I've felt about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys over the years, though that's ebbed and flowed with different coaching staffs and rosters. There are games where Dak looks great, absolutely awesome. But then there's a fragility. If things aren't working, they really stop working. Against great teams in competitive environments, he doesn't always make the plays he made the week before. It's that next level. And that's where the Packers are right now. Are you going to get to that next level? Yes or no? I've defended them. I've kicked the can down the road the last couple of seasons, but it's getting harder to do that. And if the response is, well, they don't have the receivers, they don't have this, they don't have that, then I start looking at the franchise as a whole. What are we doing here? Why aren't you doing a better job of supporting this offense, this team? Obviously, losing Halfley isn't ideal. Far from it. But at minimum, if everyone stays healthy, the Packers have enough bodies. They have enough talent. Even if the defense takes a slight step back, I still think it'll be good enough. It won't be a liability. And that's all I'm really looking for at this point in the offseason. When I look at over-unders, I ask myself, are there any glaring issues? Any situations where you're thinking, man, you better nail the draft to fix X, Y, and Z? I don't necessarily feel that way about the Packers right now. Honestly, all these teams with 10.5 win over-unders feel similar to me. There are a lot of similar talking points, albeit at different stages for each franchise. But with the Packers, I'm genuinely curious to see how this unfolds. That's why I'm so focused on this coach-quarterback duo. That's why I keep coming back to Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. I need to see that next step. I need to see that evolution. I need to see them put each other in positions to succeed in a way that feels comfortable, sustainable, and undeniable. I think about the great duos in football. I think about Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. I think about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I think about Kyle Shanahan and whoever his quarterback is, because that system elevates everyone. When you watch those teams, you feel the connection. You feel the comfort. You know that in big moments, they're going to find a way. With the Packers, I'm still waiting for that feeling. I'm still waiting for that moment where I watch them and think, yeah, this is theirs. This is their team. They're going to be a problem for everyone. And maybe it comes this year. Maybe 2026 is the year it all clicks. The schedule sets up well. The roster is solid. The pieces are there. But I need to see it. Show me what you got. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers? Are you taking the over or the under on their win total? Do you think they're going to take that next step? And I'm also really curious, does what I'm saying about Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur resonate with you? Do you understand what I mean when I talk about that fragility, that comfortability, that next level? Let me know. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree, either way, let's get some discussions going. Let's have some debates, but ultimately, let's just have some fun with it. And please do consider subscribing to the channel. We're building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you be a part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.